Hello humans, and welcome back to another episode of RD2H Road to Happiness. Nice new scenery here. Instead of where I normally record, we are out on the top of a mountain in the middle of the woods in a tree because I went on a hike with my dog today and I decided to bring all my stuff and record. And I think it's very fitting for this week's episode topic because we are going to be talking about the 3 non-negotiables, which are going to be church, nature, and solitude. So stay tuned because we are going to uncover that, and I found these 3 things to be the only thing that I need to keep in my life at least once a week in order to stay productive and stay on track and just to not spiritually be drained. I have to be in nature, I have to go to church, and I have to have some solitude, some moments to reflect on my thoughts, my week, and to talk to God. So yeah, these are the 3 non-negotiables. Alright, so as I've been complaining about in the last few episodes, I've just been, on a mission. I came to LA to do something, and I've been working on getting it done, right? And so everybody around me has just been telling me that I'm working myself too hard, or I need to, have a work-life balance, and I let it get to me this week, right? But I realized the only work-life balance I need is these 3 non-negotiables: church, nature, and solitude. And I find that whenever I'm in nature, I just feel like the most myself. It's like a literal spiritual reset, connecting with God, being outside, doing something physical. I'm on a hike right now, and part of the hike, I decided to go off trail and just explore a little bit, and part of the hike had bumps, almost like dirt bike, extreme dirt biking kind of situation. And my dog Milo ran and launch padded himself off the bump without even looking at where he was going to land. He just got so excited. Dude fell 4 feet into a pile of leaves and was so shocked. And I was like, dude, you're an idiot. You could have gotten hurt. But it's no phones. I haven't touched my phone since I got out of my car. No phones. No anybody with you other than possibly a dog, and just no time frame, no mission, just hike, just move, just be in nature, just decompress. And that was after church today. And church today, in the last few weeks, church has been talking about spiritual warfare, which is exactly what I'm going through here. How God molds you and gives you the swords to combat all of the spiritual attacks that come your way, whether that be, for me, for example, I took a financial hit, my car broke down, my computer broke, I've been dealing with just things out of my control, right, and how to combat that and not fall into Satan's trap and exactly what he wants you to do. So the verse that they've been saying this week that's been literally so close to my heart is Ephesians 6:10 through 17. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having one of the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel at peace. Above all, take the shield of faith. Ye shall be able to quench all of the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. And so I know that verse was super long and you were probably zoning out during it, but the point is, we've been talking about spiritual warfare on the podcast, and I feel everything in my life has been reflecting that, you are no longer in the fire. You are no longer in the, building up phase. You are on the battlefield, and it's time to perform as such and to, stand in the light that God has provided in me and the path that he has walked it, and walk it unshamefully, which is a very hard thing to do, to walk it unshamefully, not because you're ashamed of the person that you are becoming or because of the path that you're on, but because when everybody around you is following the herd and you are taking the path less traveled, it's really hard when you just don't feel a lot of connection to others. You don't feel not connection, but you don't feel like you belong, so to say. Like, you feel different, and you know that you're different, and you just can't understand why people aren't taking the path less traveled, why they aren't following purpose, and why they aren't trying to grow spiritually, grow mentally, and grow as a person. You can't wrap the concept around your mind because the veil has been lifted for you. And once you see the world for how it is, it's really hard to go back to ignorance. Ignorance is bliss, and a lot of people just don't understand that they are actually the only person standing in front of who they want to be, and it's all of their decisions and habits on a daily basis and mindset that is stopping them from reaching their goals, and they can't handle that truth, so they're constantly justifying it with one excuse or another. We all have excuses, but when you understand that the world is up for grabs, and through God and through walking the path less traveled, it's not a difficult path. It's a path you have to choose though wholeheartedly, and you can't go back. You can't have your cake and eat it too. There is no following the world and following God. You can't be lukewarm in your path or in your walk, because it's ultimately not going to lead you to getting anything. You have to commit, and they don't understand that, so it's hard to find connection in that. So the verse Ephesians 6:10-17, as I was saying, it says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." And that's what we've been talking about, that we're seeing in the United States lately. That's what we're talking about, that we're seeing just anywhere you turn, whether that be any type of politics, work politics, family politics, any government politics, disputes. It is not, flesh and blood that we are against. We are against the authorities. We are against the people who are trying to oppress us and do it in the name of God. And that's literally what I've been talking about on the podcast. So it feels like everything in my life is in synchronicity, in sync right now, I guess. And just my thoughts are mirroring me in every aspect of my life. So it's in church too. That's the section that we're going through right now. Basically spiritual warfare, and how God gives you the tools that you need, and then when he puts you into the fire and the devil comes knocking on your door, because the devil knows the Bible better than you. The devil knows the Bible better than you, and he will use it against you, and he will make you feel in order to show faith, you have to do what he's telling you to do. He will manipulate you. And so taking all of the tools that God gave you in your season of isolation and in your season of building, and now refining those tools and taking them into the season of faith on the battlefield, wearing what he taught you as your armor, as your sword, as your defense and your offense. And he has provided you with everything you need, as long as you have the faith to know that he put you through everything to teach you everything that you needed to be at this moment that you're at right now. And when God calls for a purpose on your life, he might have said it's, this is the path that I want you on, and this is who you're going to become. But he never said it was going to be easy. He never said that, oh, give me your life and I will make everything okay. No, he said that if you have faith in him, you will get through it. But every lesson that you learn in life, you have to go through some hard stuff. There is no learning without being challenged. There's just no way that your soul can evolve, or your brain or you as a person can evolve without having to go through challenges. But it's faith that every one of those challenges is teaching you something to get you to the next part and person that you need to be. Yeah, so back on track with the 3 things that I'm deciding are non-negotiables in my life. Church is definitely one of them, because what they talk about church literally mirrors what I'm going through in life, what I'm talking about on the podcast. Like, it's like just so in sync, and it's like I need to be there because that's the, where I get confirmation on what is I'm talking to God about when I am like on these hikes and I'm in nature and I'm just going through my day-to-day life and trying to build my spiritual life and in turn, make impact here in the physical. So when I'm talking to God about these things, I go to church and it kind of is like the sermons are mirroring back and confirming what I've been talking to God about. So I feel like I need to be there. Not only that, but it just refreshes my soul. I feel like I'm more productive after church. I feel like I'm happier. I feel like I'm more content. And I feel like just these stronger, internal sense of I'm doing what I need to be doing and I'm on the right path. Doubt just completely dissipates after church. Like, there is no doubt. It's light. So I feel like I have to go to church to just not only deepen my relationship with God, but to continue to have like that refresh once a week where it's like, okay, like my spirit gets calm and I am just ready to take on the week, knowing and feeling like rejuvenated within my purpose and why he has me here on this path. So church is my first non-negotiable, and if you haven't been frequently going to church, go, sing, make it like a do not disturb, phones off, and try to get into it. I know there's a part of you, like, it's a long sermon and I have mad ADHD, so there's evil forces, so there's a part of you that's like, I don't really want to go. Or even when you're sitting there, like, I'm kind of getting antsy and I kind of just want to go grab a donut and get back to my car. What am I doing after church again? Oh yeah, I have an X, Y, and Z to do. I have so much. Oh yeah, I'm taking Milo on a hike, and just thinking about your day or thinking about last week in the middle of church, it's just really easy to get distracted. And I understand that, but it's just so important to build that habit. You'll find that you're so much more productive, you're so much more content, and you'll actually be more refreshed to get everything else you need to get done once you like give your spirit that refresh time within church. So I find church to be an absolute non-negotiable at this point, and then after church I'm now making it a habit that I'm going to go take Milo on a hike every single week directly after church, because I'm working so much that he doesn't really get, big time to get his energy out, so it's like fair to him, but also like if I let myself, I'll just like work through the week. And I find that being in nature is another like key component of my relationship with God, and I just feel so much more connected to him when I'm in nature. And it is another thing that just like it makes my soul feel better and able to like conquer the week and get through everything when I give myself that reset within nature, whether it be sitting in a tree or hiking or surfing or snowboarding or whatever. Like, I have to have some time in nature, and when I don't, I find that I get just emotionally tired, frustrated. Things just feel like they're not working, and I can't take the punches of life as well and as gracefully if I'm not giving my spirit that time with church and with nature. So this is something that I'm now implementing into my life weekly. I don't care. This is a Sunday routine now, and it's just not a non-negotiable. So the last one, solitude. Just again, as I was saying, when I'm in going on these hikes now, no phone, no headphones, no person with me. I have my phone right here because I was pulling up the Bible verse, but when I'm like on the hike, in my backpack, keys in my backpack, everything in my backpack, nothing with me. And that, I think, is just so important because I'm able to like hear my thoughts. And I know a lot of us don't like to be alone with our thoughts, but I'm sorry, girl, you're going to have to get over it, and you're going to have to face your demons, because that's like how you face your demons, right? If you're going through a lot of things, and if you're suppressing, maybe it be that relationship you're in isn't really working out, but you can't give it up, or unconscious reasons for bad habits or addictions, or just whatever you're going through. if you're running away from it, and if you're not facing your demons will take you over you. Like, it's just so simple. They will come and they will destroy every part of your life, and it starts as a small thing until week over week it starts to be bigger, and then you find yourself in a hole that you can't get out of. And the way to face your demons is to face your thoughts. If you have control over your thoughts and the way that you think, then how can they get to you? If you have control over your values and your morals and like in your internal beliefs, and you stand your ground when those bad thoughts come into surface, you can call bullshit. You can call bullshit and say, that's ridiculous. God has me here for a reason, and I'm on a path, and those negative thoughts can literally go fuck off. And you can say that only if you spend time facing those bad thoughts, if you spend time facing the negative things in your life, and that takes being alone and being in, like, literally by yourself, and just allowing yourself to feel the thoughts, you know. And I was talking about it on the last episode, just writing them all down on paper, doing what you need to do, being in nature, and it'll naturally happen. If you're by yourself and you're in nature and you have no distractions, you leave yourself with no distractions, and you allow yourself to just think those bad thoughts and to process them and to get through them, and to, you know, build a relationship with the spirit, not only the spiritual, but with yourself, to build a healthy relationship with yourself. Because a lot of us don't have healthy relationships with ourselves, and that starts by talking to ourselves about that and dealing with the thoughts instead of avoiding them through bad habits, through bad relationships, through escape things like drinking or smoking, or being so busy and having such a packed schedule you don't have time to think. Like, that is not going to get you through the hard times. That's just going to distract you and kick the lesson down the line. If you're kicking a life lesson down the line, you're going to have to face it to level up eventually. You're just pushing it back. You know, you're just pushing the due date basically back, and therefore you're not going to be able to, like, grow and get to the next level in a time frame that you could if you would just face it, learn the lesson, move on, and face the next one. So, like, no matter what, that lesson in your life is going to come back. What you're doing is you're just pushing it further down the line so that you don't have to deal with it right now. And that's a terrible habit to have, and is probably a good portion of what's leading you to kind of feeling like you don't have peace in your life. So yeah, I think that in order to be able to have that good relationship with yourself and with God, there has to be just weekly time set aside for just reflection and being in nature, going to church, whether that be a full day. I kind of split it between Saturday and Sunday. But I think that this is going to be a key, essential part of my life for me to get to the level I'm trying to get to, and just to stay content on my path, and to keep this peace in my life as I am, you know, by myself in LA, on a journey that nobody else can really fully understand, and walking this path God has me on. These are non-negotiables. These are things that are going to not only be the thing that keeps me growing, but are going to progress my growth. It's essential to my growth as a spiritual being to make time for these three non-negotiables. So I'm finding that, and I wanted to share it because I think that it's something everybody could benefit from. Just getting a good habit of making it like the one day a week sacred, and you're going to go to church, you're going to be in nature, you're going to do something that you love that day. For me, it's recording this podcast right now, but just like do something that you love, and find some time to not avoid your thoughts, but to face them, and to make your mind a positive place. Make your mind somewhere that you actually like to be, somewhere that is more positive than the world that you see around you, because that's where you find peace and happiness, and that's where nothing can really faze you. No comments can faze you. I mean, you'll get annoyed. I got annoyed this week at some comments. But at the end of the day, it's not going to change your sight on the world or the way that you see yourself, or make you question your path or question anything. It's just some bullies being bullies, you know, and you can't change the way people think, but you can be so definitively sure in what you think and your beliefs and how you see the world that nothing else can touch you. Like okay, that's cool. You think that. You probably won't end up in the right place that you want to be I tried to warn you. I'm going to keep walking my path. The thing about walking the path less traveled is, you're kind of alone. There's less people on it. So I love you guys, and that's where we end this episode. RD2H, Road to Happiness. And it's Sunday. Get outside, get in nature, and go face your thoughts, face your demons. Make your mind a happy place.